What's up everyone? I thought I'd make my final video of the year and put my camera on, which is a little bit of a hassle, but I thought why not? Gonna be doing a quick recap on today and then also talking about my goals for next year. Uh, Next week I'm not gonna be trading at all. I'm going away for a few days to meet up with family and stuff. So I won't be trading again now until the new year. I'm looking forward to a bit of a break actually. The last couple of weeks I think there was a little bit of burnout issues. My mental game really took a dive, as you guys have all seen if you've been watching those videos. I haven't been trading great, so I'm hoping the break will actually improve things. So I'll jump into today's trades real quick. So first trade I took, pretty happy with. I just get rid of all these lines for a moment. Nothing really happened at the open. It was very slow open, but we ended up putting in this resistance area at around about 17,037. Waited for all this to play out. I did take a trade on my. I've got two evals now reset because they're cheaper to reset than get new ones at the moment. So I reset two evals. I did take a long on the eval. My goal for today was essentially to ask before every trade, is there a reason to not take this trade? Because one thing that I noticed in all of pretty much every single trade that I've taken that has been bad, at some point I have gone, probably shouldn't be taking this before the trade happens. Oh, there's a bit of a red flag. Now on some of my good trades I get that as well, but it's one of those where if I remove that completely, then I would only be taking good trades, I believe. So today I was testing that out. Essentially before every trade I was going, is there any reason to not take this trade? And if there isn't, instead of trying to ignore that and just take a trade anyway, to not take it. And the sort of there's the clear ones where it's like this is clearly not a setup yet. There's the clear ones where this is clearly is a setup, and the ones in the middle I don't want to be taking. So I've decided to take those on my eval account. There's not much risk on there. It will give me a bit more feedback on how I perform when I'm kind of like, I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be taking this one, but it's also pretty good and seeing how they perform. So I did take a long here. I got in pretty much here at 17.025.25 and stopped out when we sold down here. So I took a loss on the eval, but then had a fully legitimate setup here where we've rejected our area of resistance. We've come down, we've held below the 50 EMA. I got a good entry here at 17.13, 17.013. When I entered the position, it didn't have my normal strategy set, so there was no stop and no target, which freaked me out a little bit. So I did end up taking a position off a tiny bit early. I only made about 5.25 points, I think, and the rest I got out for break even. Unfortunately, we then got a perfect situation, a nearly set up, and I really wanted to take this, but I'm being very strict on myself at the moment to make sure that I improve for the future on not taking a trade unless we have a 100% setup. And we didn't tag 50 EMA on this consolidation, so I didn't take it. It sold off, and it would have been a really big winner. Just a little bit unfortunate. Next trade I took. So we then kind of had this area where we just kind of chopped around and did nothing for a little bit. But I noticed that this high here at 11.23 matched up with this previous support. And at that point, I thought, okay, we can actually begin looking for shorts. And when we rejected that area again, I was pretty happy with looking for an opportunity to get in. So once we got below 50 EMA and began and rejected it, I drew in this little consolidation line, and this is probably as early as I want to get in on this. The candles were a little bit slower, but I kind of got to a point where I was asking myself, is there any reason not to get in this? And it was like a very small one that maybe it's a bit early, but it felt absolutely perfect. So I jumped in. I got in short at 16,989.50. I took half off at 16,983.75. And then with this one, I moved my stop to above 16,995, got stopped out, which meant that I broke even on the trade. So a bit of a shame. On my eval, I did then take another trade, and again, it was one where I felt it wasn't quite there. I was like, do I have reasons to not take this trade? Yes, I do. The price is now not really respecting exactly how I like, but it is a setup. So I took on eval, and I got in short around here, and I lost here. We ended up selling off, putting in this now really nice triple bottom, and we popped up here. And this is, again, not a setup for me. And there are actually three situations. This one here, and then one later on as well, where we get my A plus situation, we get the price action, we just don't get the setup. Which obviously was going to happen on the day where I make sure I don't take trades unless it's perfect, but it is what it is. But on the 1 minute chart, this was actually setting up really nicely, so I decided I would take on the eval because it felt absolutely perfect. So I got in at 16,992.25. I took half off on this push up here. I think I got it like 16,999.50. And then the rest I actually took off at a pretty bad spot. Actually, I took it off right here at 1709. We just tried to get through this and failed. There was no reason to take it off so early. I could have got at least another 5, if not nearly 10 points more, but is what it is. And then the final A plus opportunity that just did not give me a setup was right in here again. Super close. We'd put in this area of resistance, which was also matching up with the initial high of day area here, so nice area of resistance. We got below the 50 EMA, we bounced, we tried, and I just wanted one more candle. Unfortunately, didn't get that. This is either news or a very, very big position unloading before the holidays, maybe. So, a bit unfortunate not to get involved in this. This would have been a really nice way to end the year, but it didn't take that. But yeah, here are the accounts to close the year. So I will just do a real quick rundown of the kind of like the numbers. I've bought 13 PA accounts. I've had 2 resets, so 15 accounts in total. I have 3 I've had 13 eval accounts, 2 that I've reset that I currently have. And then I currently have 3 PA accounts, which are the funded accounts. I've only been trading on one of those so far. That's this one here, which we've been showing on the videos, 01. And that is currently $1,600 in profit. I haven't been trading great recently, and it's dropped from, I think the high was like 2,800. So traded poorly, given about a third of the profit I've made back, a tiny little bit more maybe, as we really sell off here. So overall, I'm pretty happy that I've managed to get 3 accounts funded out of essentially 13. It's an okay hit rate. There were a couple that I essentially used to YOLO. Like I took 2 accounts to about 2,200, and they were at the point where I had to get funded that day, or I would pay the reset fee. So I decided just to YOLO it because it was a 90% deal on at the time. I did that on a couple of accounts, and they would have both got funded as well. So I possibly could have had more accounts funded, if I'm honest. It maybe wasn't the best decision, but oh well. But it's an okay hit rate. 3 out of 13 isn't great, but I would say that the first 6 that I got, maybe, I was not trading this strategy. So since trading this strategy, I've got, I think, 2 funded out of 7, which is a slightly better hit rate. But you know, realistically, if I trade accurately, I should be probably getting 8 or 9 out of 10 funded. So definitely major room for improvement. My goals for next year. So I'll bring this whole thing over. So goals for 2024. My main thing is to really, actually I need to put this in, practice. Is to really practice a growth mindset. I think that I've had glimpses of it at times this year where I've not been looking at results and have been going, you know what, the results at the moment don't matter. All that matters is that I am executing well, that I'm doing things today that will make me improve for tomorrow. So days like today, perfect example where, yes, I might have missed out on some opportunities. That last trade, that this last long here that I could have taken on my live account as well. But having that extra discipline today and having that rule of, if there's not a setup, if there's anything that makes this not a setup, don't take it. I know that if I do that every day for a month, I will have better results. So although today maybe I missed out on opportunity, over the next couple of months it will improve me as a trader. That's something I really want to keep on improving, because I don't believe that you can actually become successful in any other way. I think if you're fixated on results, you're going to become more and more emotional the closer you get to a profit target. And as soon as you become emotional, your executions are going to get worse and worse. So I don't believe that you can be successful without a growth mindset. So that's something I really want to focus on. In terms of actual goals, more physical goals, I want to target a minimum of an 80% accuracy rate. And what I mean by that is every time I take a trade, I give it a grade of 0, 1, or 0.5. If it's a completely legitimate trade where I get in at the right spot, I take my profits well enough, I give myself a 1. Or stop out for a loss correctly, I give myself a 1. If I take the trade and it's a well executed entry, but maybe my stop is a little bit too tight, or I take my first profit off and then I take my second profit way too early, I'll give myself a 0.5. And if I take a trade and the entry is really bad, so it's like I got in too early, I got in on a setup that wasn't there yet, I took a trade when the situation wasn't strong for me. Pretty much all the mistakes I've made in the last couple of weeks, I give myself a 0. And I look at that average as my percentage. And right now, if I just show you what it is right now. So this is for the last 89 trades. My accuracy rate's only at 58.43%, which is pretty low. The good part of that is, however, that even with 40% of my trades being mistakes, and not all mistakes are losses, but they don't have an edge, I've still been able to pull out that's about $3,500, which is awesome. It shows that I have a really, really big edge, which is further evident by the fact that my edge, the correct trades, have a 82.4% win percentage with a 1 to 1.9 risk to reward. So massive edge, which is important. Execution hasn't been great, but it's probably at a point where in the long run it's very slightly profitable. So I want to take this 58.43% to 80. There have been times when I have been at that. This tracks it, and you can see there are times where it is at 80, 90%, 80%. It's only really been the last couple of weeks where I've been trading really at like a 40, 50, 30% accuracy. I've had periods here where only 3 of my previous 10 trades were accurate, and that's the difference between success and failing in the markets. It's not how big of an edge you have, it's how well you can execute it. If you have a big edge, then it makes it a lot easier, but that execution is really where it's all at. So my goal is 80% accuracy rate. I'm going to be doing that every single month, so I want to see if I can achieve that. I think I can go higher. I don't see any reason why I can't execute this strategy at a really high execution level. A lot of the mistakes I've made over the past couple of weeks have been based off of strategy errors rather than mental game. And when you have strategy errors, they're a little bit easier to resolve. So the mental game issues that I've had have been sort of like amplifying that, but it's been mostly I devolved my strategy where I take worse and worse setups and say they were good. So I do believe I can achieve 80% and hopefully higher than that. In terms of my kind of like numbers of accounts, stuff like that, I want to have 20 funded accounts. I've put here end of April in brackets. Potentially it could be a lot sooner than that. If I trade really well in January, then it could be before the end of February I have 20 accounts. But whenever I put these sort of best case scenario targets is when the pressure really ramps up. So end of April I think gives me plenty of time. Between now and then I would like to withdraw some profit from Apex ideally, and if I am able to do that, then I'll be able to invest that into getting more accounts. I want to be trading multiple accounts at the end of February. So this for me at the moment, I'm trading one live account and one eval at the same time. By the end of February, I would like to be trading 2 live accounts, maybe 3 live accounts, maybe more, who knows. I want to be trading more at once. And the awesome thing about Apex is you can have so many accounts that a day like today where I made $115, if I'm doing that on 5 accounts, that's, you know, 575 bucks. And a very small day all of a sudden feels really good. So that's something I really want to be doing by the end of February. I have got targets in place for that. I won't do that until I've taken an account and really put it as sort of like in the 4 to 5k region. The reason for that is I don't want to be trading in a situation where I've got 2 accounts that if I do trade really badly, have 2.5k worth of drawdown, that I blow 2 accounts at once. If I've built an account to 5k and I have 2.5k of drawdown, well, I still have 1 account of the $2 trading. So I won't trade 2 until I've taken 1 to 4 or 5k. But as I've shown so much this week, the potential to make a few $1,000s pretty quickly is there with this. So if I traded really well yesterday, I'd probably made 1,500, 1,600, and I would be only a couple of one good trade away really from being able to trade multiple accounts. So the potential is there. So it shouldn't take too long, but it will depend entirely on performance. And then finally, I would like at some point to trial out live streaming, if not every single day, maybe a couple times a week. It would be quite fun to do so. I probably won't until I'm in a situation where I've got probably, you know, if we say I'm at a point where I've got 3, 4, 5 accounts, whatever it would be, at a point where they've all got 7, 8, 9,000 in there or thereabouts, so that I have that cushion that I'm trading well. I think doing so right now would just be way too. It would probably be the tipping point of me going from recently breaking even essentially because I haven't been trading all that great to potentially losing. So I don't want to put myself under more kind of pressure. But at some point it would be fun to do so. I've really enjoyed this the growth of this channel. I've taken a bit of a backseat from creating my performance videos just because I wanted to, you know, my passion is trading. I love trading, and I really do feel like at the moment, although the last 2 weeks I haven't traded great, I definitely do have an edge that I believe is fairly easy to implement, that I've shown has major potential, has a pretty high win percentage. So I wanted to showcase that, and hopefully over the next few months I will do that in a more profitable manner. But yeah, so that was this year essentially. This was my first few months trading with Apex. My goals, you know, are kind of set up to hopefully next year take out many withdrawals. I'm excited to see the potential of, if you have 20 accounts, is there loads of slippage? At what point of profitability do Apex say we're putting you onto live accounts? How big can you go? You know, I would love to be trading 20 accounts and build them up to 20, 30k profit and trial out 6 contracts per account, take 120 contracts per position, and see, hey, does this give massive slippage, or is it possible? Because if it is possible, then the potential profitability goes into the, you know, multiple millions a year, which is awesome. So I'm excited for all of that ahead. Focus, like I said, to start off with, will be getting this execution as accurate as I can, using strategies like I did today, making sure that, like, if there's anything that any reason I shouldn't take a trade, to not take a trade. But yeah, so that's me kind of signing out for the year. I might make a few videos over the weekend to release over the next week, just on performance stuff, just so there's something going out. But thanks very much for watching, and I will see you all again in the new year.